Albert Camus stands as a towering figure in 20th-century philosophy and literature. Born in 1913 in French Algeria, Camus was a novelist, playwright, journalist, and moral thinker who, despite rejecting the label of philosopher, profoundly influenced modern thought. His works delve into the human condition, exploring themes of absurdity, rebellion, and the quest for meaning in an indifferent universe. In 1957, Camus was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his significant literary production that illuminates the problems of the human conscience in our times. Camus' childhood was shaped by poverty and the death of his father in World War I. Raised by his mother in a working-class neighborhood, he developed a deep sense of the human struggle early in life. His experiences growing up in Algeria influenced his perspective on colonialism, injustice, and the fragility of human dignity. Unlike many traditional philosophers, Camus communicated his ideas primarily through fiction, making his philosophy accessible to a broad audience. His unique blend of literature and philosophical inquiry allowed him to touch hearts and minds in equal measure. The absurd, confronting a meaningless universe. At the heart of Camus' philosophy lies the concept of the absurd. This arises from the conflict between humans' innate desire for clarity, order, and meaning, and the silent, indifferent universe that offers none. Camus articulates this tension in his seminal essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, where he states, "There is only one really serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide." Camus argues that recognizing life's inherent meaninglessness does not necessitate despair. Instead, he proposes that individuals confront the absurd by embracing it, finding freedom in the acceptance that life lacks inherent purpose. This paradox, the yearning for meaning in a meaningless world, is central to Camus' worldview. He believes that we can find liberation in this confrontation, that by no longer searching for absolute truths, we become free to live authentically. The absurd is not a conclusion but a starting point. Camus does not advocate resignation but rather a courageous acknowledgement of reality. Life becomes meaningful not because it has purpose, but because we choose to live it fully, regardless of its inherent contradictions. The Myth of Sisyphus, a metaphor for human existence. In The Myth of Sisyphus, Camus draws upon the Greek myth of Sisyphus, a man condemned by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down each time he reaches the top. Camus sees Sisyphus as the epitome of the absurd hero, someone who acknowledges the futility of his task yet continues to push the boulder without hope or despair. He concludes that one must imagine Sisyphus happy, finding contentment in the struggle itself. The metaphor powerfully encapsulates Camus' vision of human perseverance in a purposeless world. Sisyphus becomes a symbol of defiant endurance. This idea resonates in everyday life. Routines, jobs, obligations, many of our daily tasks resemble Sisyphus's endless effort. Camus challenges us to see dignity in these moments, not because they lead to a higher goal, but because they reflect human resilience. The joy is not in achieving but in striving. The absurd hero creates meaning in the very act of rebellion against futility. In this view, life's repetitive nature is not a curse but a canvas for existential courage. Rebellion, affirming life through defiance. While Camus acknowledges the absurdity of existence, he vehemently rejects nihilism and suicide as responses. In his work The Rebel, he explores the concept of rebellion as a means to affirm life. Rebellion, for Camus, is an act of defiance against the absurd, a refusal to accept the world's meaninglessness passively. Through rebellion, individuals assert their values and create meaning, not through external validation but through their actions and choices. Rebellion becomes a moral stance, a daily affirmation of dignity and solidarity. Camus views rebellion as inherently collective. It connects individuals through shared resistance against injustice and suffering. Rather than isolate, rebellion unites us in a common cause. By rebelling, we protect the dignity of others as well as our own. Camus warns, however, that rebellion must avoid turning into revolution, which can lead to tyranny. Rebellion, in his sense, must remain grounded in human compassion, never sacrificing people for abstract ideals. Ethics in an absurd world. Camus' ethical framework emerges from the recognition of the absurd. He posits that in a world devoid of inherent meaning, traditional moral codes lose their grounding. However, this does not lead to moral relativism. Instead, Camus advocates for an ethics based on human solidarity and empathy. He emphasizes personal responsibility and the importance of human connections, suggesting that our shared experience of the absurd binds us together and compels us to act with compassion and integrity. For Camus, ethics is rooted in human experience, not divine law or universal rules. He believed that suffering teaches us to care for others because we, too, know pain. In this way, compassion becomes the most honest form of morality in an absurd world. Every ethical choice, for Camus, is a reaffirmation of life. In choosing to care, we resist the pull of indifference and rise to meet the challenge of absurd existence with humanity. Literary contributions. Exploring the absurd through fiction. Camus' philosophical ideas are intricately woven into his literary works. In The Stranger, he presents Mersault, a character who embodies the absurd man, indifferent to societal norms and expectations. Mersault's detachment and refusal to feign emotions he does not feel highlight the conflict between individual authenticity and societal pressures. In The Plague, Camus uses the allegory of a town afflicted by a deadly disease to explore themes of suffering, solidarity, and the human capacity for resilience. The novel reflects on how individuals respond to collective crises, emphasizing the importance of humanism and moral responsibility. Camus' use of fiction allows abstract ideas to take human form. Characters in his novels confront absurdity not through philosophical argument but through the realities of love, death, fear, and courage. His narrative style, simple, direct, but deeply evocative, invites readers to contemplate life's most profound questions. In The Fall, Camus examines guilt and confession, portraying a man who grapples with the moral consequences of his past. Through these characters, Camus gives voice to the silent struggle of existence, making philosophy not just something to think about, but something to live. Camus and existentialism, a distinct perspective. Although often associated with existentialist thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, Camus maintained a distinct philosophical stance. While existentialists focus on individual freedom and the creation of meaning through choices, Camus centers his philosophy on the confrontation with the absurd and the subsequent rebellion against it. He diverges from existentialism by rejecting the notion that meaning can be constructed solely through personal freedom, instead emphasizing the importance of acknowledging and embracing the absurd condition of human existence. Camus' relationship with existentialism was complicated and sometimes contentious. He refused to fully align with any philosophical school. His disputes with Sartre revealed a deep divide over political and moral commitments. Where Sartre turned toward Marxism, Camus held firmly to his belief in individual moral responsibility. He was wary of ideologies that justified violence for the sake of utopia. Camus' philosophy stands out because it refuses illusions, political, religious, or metaphysical, and chooses instead a clear-eyed view of the world and our place in it. Legacy: the enduring relevance of Camus' thought. Albert Camus' exploration of the absurd, rebellion, and ethics continues to resonate in contemporary discourse. His insistence on confronting the harsh realities of existence without resorting to despair offers a framework for navigating the complexities of modern life. Camus' works encourage individuals to find meaning through engagement, compassion, and the continuous defiance of the absurd, making his philosophy a timeless guide for human resilience and dignity. In an age of uncertainty, his message of hope without illusion feels more relevant than ever. He remains a voice of integrity in a chaotic world. From climate change to political injustice, the challenges of today echo the themes Camus addressed decades ago. His call to live authentically, ethically, and courageously in the face of meaninglessness remains a powerful guiding principle. Young readers discovering Camus today often find a kindred spirit, someone who acknowledges their doubts and offers not comfort, but strength. His legacy lives on in literature, philosophy, and the enduring human spirit that refuses to yield. In embracing the absurd, Camus teaches us to love life even when it does not love us back. Conclusion: Albert Camus challenges us to face the absurdity of life with courage and integrity. By embracing the lack of inherent meaning, we are liberated to create our own purpose through rebellion, ethical action, and solidarity with others. Camus' philosophy is not a call to despair but an invitation to live fully, authentically, and compassionately in a world that offers no easy answers. His work endures because it speaks to the deepest parts of us, our fears, our hopes, and our yearning for meaning. In a world that often feels chaotic and unkind, Camus reminds us that the most profound act of resistance is simply to live well. So, if this journey through the ideas of Albert Camus resonated with you, please like this video, share it with someone curious about philosophy, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into timeless thinkers. Let's keep exploring together.